We're just watching some elephants having a bit of a play fight in the water here. And now it turns out that there's some more elephants approaching right now. And Willem has said if he clicks his fingers again, we need to start making our way away from here. So it's getting pretty exciting. Everyone, my name's Mike Anderson, and you've joined us at Eco Training the Pridelands Conservancy with Niels behind the camera. I can hear the other elephant, but I cannot see it. I think you've got a good view of those two elephants playing in the water. It's quite spectacular. Normally, we look at these elephants from the bank using a vehicle. Now we're on foot on the dam wall itself. It's quite an awesome experience to be relatively close, but still unseen by these animals. It's always the best way. We'd always like to remain and not disturb any animals from whatever they're doing naturally. And these two elephants are having a good play fight. Oh, I can hear the other elephant now. Can't see it. Sounds like it's feeding. Wonderful. We're in a very high area, so we're fairly safe where we are. But the elephants do sometimes climb up the bank here. So these two elephants here have just come down the bank and are playing in the water. The other elephant is just down there. It's probably going to want to come up the bank. This is a nice hot afternoon. Oh, I can actually see it moving just through the bushes there now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from where you are, but probably hears all the splashing sounds and probably wants to come and join these other two bulls playing in the water. Now, these are two young bulls. No, old enough to be out on their own. They've been kicked out of the herd, but no, not old enough at all to be challenging any big bulls like Izulwini, the dominance of any herds. Really spectacular to be on foot here. You can hear the other elephant moving around. I think he's just changed direction. Yeah. He's just changed direction. He's moving. He was feeding on the bottom of the slope just over here. Now he seems to be moving away, probably looking for the shallower way to come up this bank. This way we're standing right now is really the steepest part. There's no way for them to come down the bank here. There's not really a way for them to come up easily. But you can see there's a carpet of elephant dung here, so there's really a highway. You can see elephants often coming here to get up onto the banks. Now I can see that elephant, he's just coming up here. We might just have to move back slightly. Can you just see him there, coming up the bank? I think let's start to move away from this elephant, because if he comes up this bank and then feels like we're a bit too close, he might not like it very much, and we don't want to disturb them. So 50, it certainly is cool to witness this kind of behavior, especially when we're not on the receiving end of these kind of behaviors. Those two playing in the water, we like to keep it that way. The other one might come up the bank now. He's just moved in front of us. I'm sure you saw that. Oh, there he is now. See it on the bank there. Going to have to stand up there just so it sees that we're here. We're going to start making our way backwards from this elephant because he's going to walk up this wall, and I don't want him to feel threatened by us. All right, so if you want to just put back slightly, let me just grab the back here. So you can see that elephant there has seen us now, and he's like, oh, there's people. Just giving him a bit of space, letting him know that he's in charge. Not running away, not cool. Okay, once we make our way for this elephant, I'm going to send you over to Tswalu. So it actually is a swimming day. As you can see there's two elephants. One of them is lying in the water, and the one that's dry, standing on the bank, that's busy throwing some mud on itself. That is the elephant that we just had come up to us when we were up on the dam wall itself. So we moved away a short distance, and then it turned around and just went back to where the other ones were. So all was well in the end. The elephant seems none the worse for wear, and we're all 100% healthy. So that's always good. But yeah, just always good to... Oh, there's more elephants arriving. Look, this looks like there's more elephants arriving. So it's always good to be aware that we are part of the natural environment. We are going to come into contact with some of these animals, but can always resolve any conflicts before they escalate into anything not so great. So it looks like a mother and a youngster. Now, I don't know if there are other elephants that are going to come with her. It could be the one female and youngster that we saw being pushed off by a bull elephant yesterday. Looks about the right size and age. Maybe one of these bulls that's there is exactly the one that was harassing her. It all looks peaceful right now, and it's very hot today, so she's not going to stay too long away from the water. She's going to want to get a drink, especially if she's got a youngster. Behind her, you can see another elephant dust bathing. I can hear lots of trumpeting. There's plenty more elephants coming, I'm sure. Todd, the elephant population in South Africa is absolutely growing at a phenomenal rate, with elephants being protected species, and their breeding is actually super good. So in big reserves like the Kruger National Park, which we are a part of, the elephant population is rapidly increasing, which is both a blessing and a curse in a way, because they can be very destructive. As you can see, right now what I'm sitting on is a tree that was pushed over by an elephant. Now, here on Pridelands, elephants were blocked from coming here for about, I don't know, almost 50 years. And so a lot of these trees and vegetations grew where normally elephants would have kept them in check. So it looks really destructive right now, but eventually there'll be an equilibrium. But certainly the elephant population is growing at a huge rate. In fact, many people who come to Pridelands say that they've never seen so many elephants in their life. I mean, there almost seems more elephants here than in places like Chobe, which is renowned for having one of the largest elephant populations and densities. Here comes another herd with a tiny baby. 2 tiny babies. That's amazing. So you can see the elephant that was drinking just in front of her is a tiny little calf. All coming down to what used to be an old trough. And this was a cattle farm. Of course, Pridelands was cattle. And that was one of the troughs that they used to keep the cattle watered. It's no longer a trough. In fact, that's the reason why this dam was created, because there was always water there. And this is all natural water that's collected from the rain. Wow, that's spectacular. Oh, and our young elephant bull has decided to go and have a proper swim now. He's finished mud bathing, and now he's having a proper swim. Oh, it's so great to see. I'm glad to see that one single female wasn't alone. I was a bit nervous when I saw her alone with the calf. It seems like she's part of a big herd. I wonder if that's Susan's herd. I know Susan's herd had a couple of youngsters in it. From this distance, I can't see. I mean, you all know Susan by now, those of you who've been watching for a while. She's this feisty young elephant cow who has tusks that come very close together. We easily recognize her, and there's a few more elephants now coming over the dam wall. There's been elephants here the whole day. There's not been a single moment since about 9 o'clock. There hasn't been an elephant in this waterhole. Well, guessing an elephant's age is not so simple once they reach a certain size, but a rule of thumb is when an elephant's born, as long as it can fit under the mother's belly, then it's probably under a year old. The moment it no longer fits underneath the belly, then it's probably going to be 2 years or older. And then once it starts to get little nubs of tusks, then we'd say it's probably about 3 years old. And then often the mother elephant will give birth to her second calf when it's about 5 years old. And so when you see a mother elephant with a baby calf and a little bit older one, then you'll say that's probably about 5. And then from there on it gets a bit trickier. It gets much more tough to tell an elephant's age. We kind of just guess their ages from their sizes. But recently, with some of the researchers in the area following Ezelwini, I've been asking them, what are the ages of different elephants? And for example, some of the big elephant bulls in this area, like Kumo, for example, who we used to see a lot, who had the scar on his trunk, I used to tell people he must be in his mid-40s. He's not even in his mid-30s yet. And I think, as far as I remember, Ezelwini is probably not even 40 yet. It's like 39 or something. So elephants can get a huge size. And none of the elephants that we're seeing here, those two swimming, are probably weighing about 3 tons. And I mean, a fully grown elephant bull is probably going to be twice as heavy as that. And the heaviest elephant bull ever recorded was over 10 tons. in Angola, in fact. And that is just phenomenal. It's 3 times the size of any of these elephants that we see here at the waterhole today.